Hello again, everybody, and welcome to day 8 of March Madness. I'm Laura Serrant, and I'm an inclusive practice specialist and a leadership development coach. For those of you who've been following so far, you'll remember that I'm using the alphabet as a way to frame some of my thoughts, my thinking, my feelings, and my musings from 40 years of working, and particularly working with leaders and business owners around how we lead authentically as ourselves. Now, I use the word authentically because that is often the way people try to imagine what is the best way they can be themselves in a leadership or in a business space. But we'll get to that in a moment. Today, as day 8, we are on the letter G, because I'm using the alphabet to frame our discussion. And G stands for good enough. As a leader, as a high achiever, and certainly as a lioness, it can sometimes be really pressurizing to ourselves to feel that what we have to do has to be perfect. It has to be the best we can actually get in terms of an outcome. And good enough is something that I've learned over the years is absolutely sometimes the best we can do. The problem with good enough is that it seems to come with a but at the end of it. Often when people say, "Is that okay?" and we reply, "Yeah, it's good enough," there's an unspoken but, which implies that more could have been done, it could have been better, or more effort could have been put into it. And actually, it's taken me quite a few years, possibly even a couple of decades, to work out that that's not really what good enough means in this sense. Sometimes good enough is exactly what's required. The problem with the way in which we understand good enough is that we think that it's not quite reaching the goal. Good enough is almost used instead of fine. Okay, adequate, none of which makes any of us, individually or collectively, feel that what our efforts have been appreciated. But good enough is actually defined as adequately good for the circumstances. And there's no judgment in that. The really important part of that is for the circumstances. Sometimes your good enough is your best because you're tired, because you have less resource of time, less resource of energy, or just less resources of finance, people to help. And good enough is the best that we can do. The thing about good enough is that good enough focuses on the outcome. And actually, our measure of our intention and our measure of our commitment is not in the outcome, but is in the efforts that we put towards achieving that outcome. And sometimes we have to accept that actually the outcome is beyond our control. We can't use all our energies in seeking perfection in every situation, because thereby lies despair, deceit, and madness. Perfection is almost a ruse. It's a distraction. It makes us think that when we've reached the top of our mountain, we've not gone far enough. It makes us question our very abilities. It makes us question our commitment. And even worse still sometimes, it makes us question that in other people. And in questioning and pursuing perfection, we cease to be human. The very strength of human beings is their fallibility, their ability to learn, to make mistakes, to actually also understand their own humanity and say, do you know what, today I gave 20%, but today 20% was 100% of what I had. Perfection is not essential for success. Effort and giving of your best is essential for your success in the long term. Sometimes strength and courage and the pursuit of the ultimate destination has bumps in the road, has twists and turns that we don't expect. And good enough is what we can do today. Tomorrow may be different, but today, good enough is the best that we have. It also means that when we accept good enough as a positive demonstration of us giving of our best, that actually we release ourselves and give ourselves the freedom to be ourselves. Perfection is a curse of high achievers. Consider the lioness, the greatest hunter in the pack, even better than the lion. She doesn't spend time thinking, what is the perfect way to make this catch? Her mind, her physicality, and her actions adjust and twist and turn and change with every movement that is made. The effort that she puts in is why she is successful, not because it was the perfect answer. And sometimes the prey gets away. But that doesn't change her resolve to be the same and to continue in what she has to do to feed her family, to survive another day. By accepting good enough as a positive measure of leadership, of business ownership, and even of self-agency, it means that we allow our humanity and the humanity of others to be central. So I leave you with your authentic selves that are good enough just as they are. Because being good enough means that we are brave enough to be bad at something today. I'll see you tomorrow.